In this video, I'm going to talk about sentiments. Sentiment tracking is by default enabled within the Dynamics 365 customer service omni-channel application. Now, what the sentiment tracking does is it tries to gauge the sentiments of the conversation between the agents and the customer. Now, it uses Azure Text Translator API to detect the sentiments. Now, as you see over here in the screen, there is a chat which is going on currently. Now, based on the chat conversation, the sentiments would be decided and then appropriate action will be taken. Now, the sentiment analysis, it uses Azure Text Translator API to detect the sentiments. Now, the sentiments for the agents is displayed in this particular interface. So on the top, you will see different sentiments. Now, the sentiments is based on all the conversation which is received by the agent. Now, the sentiment types can be very negative, slightly negative, neutral, slightly positive, positive, very positive. Now, there is a setting within an admin center called as sentiment prediction for routing. You need to turn this on, enable sentiment prediction for routing if you want to use sentiment for routing based activity. So what does that mean is if a sentiment is turned, say, let's assume very negative, then someone else needs to step up. The agent is not able to resolve the issue. So maybe the agent needs some consultation with the supervisor, or maybe it needs a different agent to resolve the issue. So the supervisor can view the conversation and then try to gauge out what's happening with regards to the sentiments. So those all things I'll show you in the live demonstration. So let me open a current chat. Now this is an agent which is currently chatting with the customer. Okay, so let me bring that customer. So let me dock the screen over here. Yeah. Now if you see here, this is now on the right hand side you see customer, and on the left hand side you see the agent interface. Okay. Now, the customer might say, start with some discussion, how are you, and all those kind of text. Now, if you see over here, the conversation is going in a neutral way, so that's fine. There's no issue with this. Now, the moment customer starts yelling, with regards to some issue, so maybe we'll say poor service. Okay. Now, just watch what happens over here in this section. It may start getting some information. It says it's slightly negative, okay, and then uh, agent can start the conversation and then start calming the customer. But then the customer is very upset and say, and if you see it's slightly negative, and then over a period of time it has turned negative, and then I will say something else, and then it might be very negative. Okay, so what happens is now this agent is not able to resolve this issue. Then like the supervisor, so let me navigate to, so now in this case I'm the only supervisor over here, but like the supervisor can view the information. Let me show you over here. Yeah. So supervisor can view the omni-channel ongoing conversation dashboard, and then they can see what's happening. So here, if it's very negative, then the supervisor can transfer this call to someone else. Okay. Now let me click on transfer, and then if there are any available agent, then the agent can be selected from here in this list. Let's say Alex. Okay. Now Alex is available, and then I will transfer this to Alex because the supervisor, because the agent is not able to handle the customer conversation correctly. So I can transfer this information, and then maybe now here is Alex. Now the Alex receives this request, and then Alex will start addressing the conversation. Now here, uh, the customer doesn't see any change happening over here till the time the conversation is loaded. Okay. Now Alex need not understand what's going on behind the scene because all this information would be like said, displayed within Alex's interface, because Alex can see what's happening over here, and then it says transfer to Alex has been successful and your chat has been transferred. Okay, so the customer knows that there is some different agent which has come. Okay, and once the customer starts again the conversation, Alex will say, and then customer might say, okay, good, and see what's happened over here in the sentiment. Okay, now he's very negative, is slightly positive, and then the customer might say amazing work. And then it might turn positive, and then all your issue will be resolved. So that's it. In the sentiment tracking, like sentiment tracking is basically used to gauge the sentiment of the customer, and then based on that some actions can be taken. Now here we have taken an action which is manual, whereby the agent has highlighted this information, and then the supervisor identifies it, and supervisor transfers it to some another available agent. But this can also be automated, and then the routing engine can kick in, and the conversation can be directed to a different agent. So that's it, folks. This is all about sentiments. Thanks for watching.